The average family in this city is rich, but if everyone is rich, then no one is rich. So today I'm fixing that by building a massive hilltop resort so exclusive, it makes the peasant millionaires feel poor. Now this resort area can't be easy to reach, because if it was, then it's basically public infrastructure, and that is disgusting. So I want to build this as far away from the city as I can possibly get, and look here, you can't even see the city, which is perfect. Like all good rich people, we're going to completely destroy the environment, because where we're going, we don't need trees. All we need is somewhere private, where we can relax away from the basic rich people. Those basic rich people aren't even close to being on our level. And right away, I am going to start committing some atrocities, because we're going to need as much land as we can get, and the top 1% of the top 1%, they know the best way to do that is to absolutely destroy the land. Who needs to respect the topography when you're rich? But also, this is just going to make things a million times easier. I want the main hotel to be placed right around here. Before that, we're going to need a main entrance building. Now this main building is meant to be the final boss of rich people. If you don't have at least 50 million in the bank, then the lovely people working here are not going to let you through. And this is going to sound a bit silly, but I think the livestock exchange is going to be the best building. It just feels pretty upscale and fancy. And I don't want this too close to the water. We wouldn't want to ruin our views. Now I've never been to a fancy resort, so all I can do is guess what they're like. And what I can imagine is a super nice roundabout right in the center. Perfect. And we will have to provide access to the back. And now show me that this building has power. Please. Okay, fine. I didn't want to have to do this, but we'll make the connection even worse. Which honestly is kind of perfect anyways, because this area shouldn't be easy to get to. Now I imagine this road to be primarily for the service workers. So they'll drive all the way down from the city, go through this mountain right here, and then they're going to enter this road, park, and immediately get to work. I do not want these service workers mingling with the rich people. They're going to have their own back road. And that right there is perfect. Although this doesn't really feel very fancy, does it? We need the most fanciest roundabout possible, and I really like this one. Before I forget, this does need to be a one-way. And now everything makes sense. Oh wait, I forgot. We have to connect this in, otherwise the rich people won't be able to make their way over here. And now everything makes sense. But we don't want to make sense. We want to make multi-millions. Or at least we want those type of people coming here. Which means we need to give them a reason to actually come. And that reason is going to be the 5-star country hotel. It's not as upscale as I'd like, but I'm going to use my imagination and pretend that this is extremely fancy. I do want a park at the back, because then you're going to be able to sit down, look at the water, and I don't know what rich people do. I imagine look at water, go out on the yachts, and drink water in the weirdest way possible. But let's get that placed in right there. And parking on our main building is disgusting. Go away. These plants are weak too. We can do way better. And this fence, what is this fence? This is not upscale. Not yet. Now here is the base for our beautiful hotel. We're going to need a road, and we're going to need to bring all of our utilities to the top of this hill. I don't want the resort to be too car-centric. So let's use this pedestrian road and wrap it around the building. Because ideally, everyone is just driving some type of golf cart up here. Now we're going to need a frontage road, and the building doesn't like me for some reason. Removing networks may break assets. Listen, I have 777 million. In order to make an omelet, you gotta break a few eggs. Now, just like the roundabout down here, we need another fancy one. And that is truly just beautiful. But again, I have the memory of a goldfish, and I forgot to make it a one-way. Now, we're not even close to done yet, but I do want to snake this alleyway all the way down to meet back up with our main road, because the blinking icons are starting to drive me crazy. But also because we're going to need the utilities for the rest of the buildings. Now what I've done is run all of the main roads throughout the mountain. The biggest challenge is going to be connecting up to our main hotel. Before that, let's solve 2 other challenges. So we need a way to connect into this road. I don't usually like doing this, but we're going to carve directly on the side of the hill. That's because this is 12%, which is a pretty solid grade. So I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. It is looking a little bit rough though, definitely not very fancy. So let's add a key wall on this side and a retaining wall on this one. And yes, that is definitely looking much more fancy. Now for this road over here, I want to send this alleyway through a tunnel to connect in to roughly here. So first, let's flatten this out. And now when we run this alleyway through, we should get a tunnel. And I say should, but that doesn't always mean we're going to be successful. Let me take a look at this bad boy. It's definitely got character. Maybe all it needs is just a little bit of love. Once you remove the jank, it's definitely suitable for a rich person. Because even though you're going to spend at most 1 minute in this tunnel, we still can't have it being ugly. That would never be good enough, not for the multi-millionaires of Providence Bay. We just have to connect this into our roundabout, and I don't want to get too close to our service area. And yeah, there we go. That turned out really well. Now I want this alleyway to meet somewhere in the middle, which means we're going to need another roundabout. And let's make this one the biggest one so far. And now this leaves us with about 2 options for where this alleyway can connect in. Actually, make that 3. Either here, here, or over here. The grade is going to be way too intense to send it straight. That's 37.6%. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. So first, I'm going to start with the easiest answer that I can come up with. And that was way too easy. But of course, 1 connection would never be enough. And wait a minute, delivery van? What are you buying? The delivery van is probably going to buy food. Well, good luck. I wish you safe travels. Anyways, we are going to have 1 more connection, and because we have to serve this area anyways, we might as well send it all the way up and then curve in. Now to get this alleyway connected into our roundabout, I'm just going to snake up and around this hill. Now I decided to go with the tunnel because I knew making this connection was going to be the most optimal, but also because I wanted to maintain the park space. I did have to steal quite a bit of it, but that's why we're going to get to work on improving the hotel. Right now there's nothing really fancy or special about it, which means before we add in any attractions, we have to make this hotel truly fit for the ultra wealthy. I want to add a retaining wall to the side of this road, because now we can use this to increase the total amount of space that we have. And I think it's going to break the tunnel. Please don't break the tunnel. Please, be kind. Be kind to me for once, game. Yeah, you know, that's really good looking, and I like it a lot. I'm going to go to my backup plan. And this honestly looks like a death trap. There's no way that this is happening. Unless maybe you're a rich person who wants to get rid of their family members. Maybe there's a bit of insurance money there. Just because you're a multi-billionaire doesn't mean that you don't need more money. Even the rich need more money. What for? I have no idea. Don't ask me. Screw the tunnel. We don't need a tunnel. Instead of going for the most obvious solution by wrapping around, I decided to make it way too difficult. Now to make the hotel more fancy, and to hopefully get rid of some of this jank, I'm going to take this pavement path, and I want to wrap it around the retaining wall. Of course, the shape is looking a little bit too phallic. What I want to do is introduce just a bit of variation. And apparently variation is just a bunch of random squiggles. I'm pretty sure rich people love random squiggles. Now this is going to be the main layout for our main hotel. Because this one is the 5-star country hotel, this one has to be the fanciest. So only the top 1% of the top 1% of the top 1% will be in this hotel. We're gonna need another one though, and I wanna place that one over here. So because this one is higher up, this is like the billionaire hotel. And then this is maybe if you got like 100 million, maybe 250 million. You're not quite there yet. Now there is one thing that this area really needs, and that's going to be manicured grass. Now this is truly starting to feel almost kind of like a castle. But we still need things to do, and I want these to actually function. And this is perfect. I imagine this is the place where everyone sits around talking about philosophy, and Bach, and Beethoven, and Mozart, and you know what? Maybe they can even hire a few of those guys. Or maybe we take a few of these homeless citizens and we make them dance like puppets. No, that's taking it too far. Even I have standards. We don't want to bring peasants up here. And yeah, 3 fountains is pretty good, but how about an entire pavilion? No, that's probably doing too much. Ooh, some contemporary sculptures? Yes, please. And the ark. This is perfect. Actually, I could probably see rich people getting married here. So we want this ark to face the water, because they're going to have to take pictures of their wedding and post it online. And why won't you level out? Please, just level. Come on. Okay, you know what? Fine. That's okay. Because I can just take one of these fancy surfaces and paste it in. And I forgot, surfaces really don't like key walls. It just seems like everything hates key walls. And me too, I also hate them now. Don't worry, I got a good idea. And there we go. I think this is truly appropriate for the most elite and richest of Providence Bay. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. I think the biggest way to sell super rich and super fancy hotel is to make sure that there's lots of manicured grass and just open green space. It truly doesn't need to be anything more than that. Well, at least for this top section, because I want to work on the next section, and what we're gonna need is a whole bunch of parks. I'm going to take a few more liberties, because what I think is going to sell the ultra wealthy hotel is if the sports parks slowly begin to rise. And there's basketball court number 1. Now I want to go up 2.5 meters. And I think that's pretty much perfect. Now let's go up another 2.5 meters. And key walls. When will I learn my lesson? I can't stand them. But the rich people can. So that means I have to as well. And so now you can kind of start to see what I'm getting at. It's just an overly unnecessary rise in elevation, but it does look kind of cool. And that's exactly what our rich people need. Abundance and unnecessary excessiveness. And there we go. That is what I'm talking about. What I'm not talking about are these prison fences. Like, what is this? And also these massive lights. Completely obnoxious, unnecessary. And are you selling peasant food to our rich people? No. Goodbye forever. And of course, the rich people aren't clowns, or at least professionally. So we need a better decal just like this one here. And the last thing it's gonna need is the fanciest grass we got. Just like that. This to me screams rich. This to me screams prison. This literally looks like a prison basketball court. I don't know what else to say. So I'm going to say nothing and quickly get the rest fixed. I want to figure out where we're going to place in these tennis courts. And ideally, I want to do something like this, but way more dramatic. Because this is kind of pathetic. It's not rich enough. It doesn't scream money. I want the absolute overly designed tennis courts that I can get. What if we turn this entire hill into a place for tennis courts? We're going to have to do some crazy things here, but don't worry, it's all justified because we're rich. If you're rich, you can do anything you want. So there's the first one. Now I'm just going to keep building my way up the hill. Remember how I said death care was the enemy? Death care is no longer the enemy. This crosswalk is. Now key walls are the enemy. They are so frustrating to work with. This is for the rich people, so I will do it, but it doesn't make them any easier. So in regards to the mountain tennis courts, I think that's good enough. I do want to get the basketball courts connected in though. So let me break my masterpiece. Now this truly couldn't be a resort if we didn't have somewhere to swim. Because why swim in the water when you can swim in the shelter of a pool? So let's use the community pool asset and let's have it face the water just because it's ironic. And I know this isn't the most upscale pool, so I just need you to use your imagination with me because I like when buildings actually function. And that is going to be a perfectly amazing pool. And look at it, it's just empty. Exactly what I would expect because next to no one is going to use this. It's mostly just there for show. Or maybe this is where you send your kids when you're sick and tired of dealing with them. We are using more and more land though, and it's actually turning out really nicely. Now it's about time that I give some love to the 3-star country hotel, because don't forget, this one is for the billionaires, and this one is for the multimillionaires. So over here, I want to add in a few of these parks. And there we go. Basically, I want you to be driving down here and look up and think, wow, I wish I could go there, but you're never going to be able to because you're not rich enough. There's still a few more important buildings that I think we really need to add. And no, not this giant mall. Although no, that's an awful idea. What we need is some of these upscale commercial businesses. And I want to have a few of these scattered around everywhere. Let's have one right there. And then we have Le Coulier d'Argent. It's so fancy, I can't even pronounce it. I really want to add it here. And it's going to be a bit tight. Excellent, that is perfect. This is where I imagine that you're going to do some pre-check-in. Or actually, you know what? This is where the service staff live. That's why it's a restaurant. Although this fountain is pathetic. That is a fountain. And now we have the Oasis Kitchen. We are starting to run out of room. So what I want to do is place that right over here. I'm going to quickly place in some roads because I want to build a small little villa here. Because there's one tier above this hotel, and that's for the trillionaires. And this is where they're going to live. Or at least for tax purposes, they're going to live here. These are going to have to be very, very separated. So I'm just going to place a few of these fancier buildings in. And these super rich houses are finally done. Now I know you're probably thinking, what's up with all the pedestrian paths? Well, the big problem with the pedestrian paths is that they look really nice and they make the area much more fancy. Rich people are definitely not having pedestrian paths connected into their house. So I just need you to pretend with me that they're just quay walls. And as long as we can do that, we'll live happily ever after. There is a few Easter eggs scattered around now. Why don't you guys have utilities yet? Oh, I'm stupid. First of all, I'd have to click play. Second of all, I don't even know if this road is connected into anything. And it is indeed connected into something. Right, it's connected into this road that goes all the way around. Now, when I said it should be inconvenient, I didn't mean that inconvenient. We are going to provide one more entrance, and we'll do that right here. And to help our rich people sleep better at night, there's going to be a security gate right there. And I only just realized that there isn't a district over this area. And we also have no services. We are going to need a name for this district, so if you have one, drop it in the comments. It is probably about time that we provide some type of medical care though, and I think right over by our tunnel is going to be a great place. I love how this is a full facility, and there's only 18 residents in this entire district. But we have 51 people in the 5-star country hotel, and only 14 in the 3-star. Yeah, that seems reasonable. And for fire, I just want to tuck this away back here. And you better believe that we're going to have amazing police care coverage. There's not much room left. This is getting difficult. Right here. This is gonna be perfect. And I'm just gonna commit a few atrocities to make this happen. So we have our fancy billionaire hotel, the poor multi-millionaire hotel, all of the parks, all of the services, the super fancy houses. What we're missing is the number one activity that these people are coming here for. It's not to play tennis. It's not to play basketball. That's right. There's only one reason why they're coming here. And that's because they want to ride their boats. So we're going to need to make a small boat dock. And before that, we're going to have somewhere where they can launch their boats. Just like that right there. Now all we have to do is build a small little boat dock. And I'm going to focus that dock within this vicinity. And here's our boats. And we could easily just stop here and call it a day. Or we could add in the Hardwick Hall, which is obviously what we're gonna do because I wanna pretend that this is some type of yacht club building, which means we're gonna have to do some land reclamation. And wow, that still wasn't enough. Okay, yeah, that was way more than I thought it was gonna be, which is exactly what we want. It's like I always say, the more the merrier. And of course, we're gonna need a fancy quay wall, and the more squiggles you have, the fancier it is. That is a fact. And just look at how many squiggles we have. Wait, don't look at that. Don't look at that. And just look at how many squiggles we have. The perfect amount to show that we're rich. And of course, we're gonna need the most manicured grass that we can get. Okay, even I have a limit. That's definitely way too much. Let's get this connected in so it has power and it can stop yelling at me. So here's our yacht club, and I think it's perfectly extra. Takes up a whole bunch of space. In fact, I think it's the biggest thing here. Now, I really like the way things are looking. It just needs a little bit of polish. So I'm gonna go through and quickly make sure that this is a district fit for billionaires. And there we go. Most of the polish was just trees, because I did nuke half the island, but now most of the trees are back. And you know what? I really like this place. Of course, this is where I'll be staying. And who are you? What are you doing walking on our street? Rebecca Wilkins. You're sightseeing? This isn't a place for sightseeing. You're a criminal. You're going to Hardwick Hall? No, not the yacht club. You don't get to sightsee at the yacht club. Yeah, get her. Get her, cops, get her. Rebecca or Jessica, whatever your name was, you better watch out. No, she's going that way. She's down the street. Oh, you guys are useless. They're probably just on their way to a wedding ceremony. But yeah, I think it turned out really nicely. And as always, thank you for looning with me today. Today's shoutouts go to Gary Key, Jake Hill, Mississippi Mikey, Aiden Fernalski, Henry Vopel, Dylan Barnett, Arlen J, Sinan Ozdemir, Soyan ×2, the Poop Sheriff, and to everyone else who supports the channel. Seriously, you guys are insane. If you want to loon harder, you can join us on Patreon or YouTube. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one.